everyone, good. I am Deep White. Today I would like to share the workflow for adapting anime to live action. I did this kind of work before. When translating anime to live action images, I always feel like it is missing something. Either it is because the 3D effect is too strong, either it lacks the spirit or charm. So I did a workflow today. This issue is avoided through 2 samplings. Enough said, we will start first. Everyone open this link. If everyone wants it simpler, just open this AI application directly. Each run takes about 3 to 4 minutes, spent around 60 points. Of course, if it is for local use, we still need to open the workflow. We spoke in detail. This workflow, actually it was first traced using the Qwen editing model, then used the Z-image model, transfer again from the previous club, thus achieving a more realistic effect. This workflow, first you need to translate the original anime images, perform a reversion. I use this Qwen+3 VL here, this reverse model. Reverse engineer this image into JSON format. I have written all the prompt words. Use prompts to control the maximum limits of images. Then use the Qwen model for the first transfer. I am using Qwen 2511 SPFP 8 model, then added 2 specifically for anime to live action conversions. A LoRA to perform the first tracing. After the first tracing session, actually this effect is quite good. That is pretty good to look at. But if you magnify it and look closely, it will still have some of this texture, and its overall effect, it is still quite close to the 3D model. It still looks more like 3D, not like a real person. So based on this, we will use this again, the image model. The image model here, I am using this model that transcends reality. Then added Qwen+Zimage version of this, a LoRA for real fantasy, to achieve the second repaint. Here, the first reverse deduction was still used, a JSON format one. Prompt word, then add a prompt word from Qwen+Zimage. The effect produced by doing it backwards. It is very effective, very good. Carefully examining its texture greatly enhances it. The previous patterns directly disappeared. Increase the lighting and shadows on the clothing folds. The texture of the clothing. Texture of hair. The texture of hair, I see. You have this pattern. This realistic effect. So after this second repaint, its effect more like a photograph of reality. When I used other workflows before, every time this step is used when using Z-image for the second remastering, its facial features of this character, it will easily change. But if this prompt is used to impose control, you will find that this appearance is very stable. Okay, let's look at a few other examples. First, look at the first example. This is a comic. I won't say where the manga comes from. The first time using Qwen for vectorization afterwards, actually the effect of the character is quite good. But take a closer look at this block above. There is also this edge here, so it is still a 3D feeling, like this character has already blurred. Then look at the second repaint backwards again. It will give you a sense of 3D, perform a complete redrawing once, become more real. The texture of a person's skin, the texture of these garments, the texture of hair will also greatly enhance it. This graph is also, it turned out to be a colorful page. Translate his facial expression. It is a kind of naughty. This laugh was transformed for the first time. Actually, the results are also quite good. The effect is basically no change. Actually, it is just his background. It feels slightly fake. We look at the second image after redrawing it again. The entire character traits, facial features actually don't change much, but his expression, more close to the original comic's look, like the wrinkles in his clothing, the reflective quality of fingernails. There is a bed sheet like this in the background, became more real. Similarly, like this photo, of course, manga characters, his facial features cannot be fully turned around. Otherwise, like such big eyes, real people would be strange then. First time, Qwen came over 以后, discovering characters beyond these ones. These words, nothing has changed. Actually, this is where its advantage lies. It only meets our prompt requirements, the place changes of these characters. Nothing else has changed. Then the second change, it is equivalent to adding texture to it. We see this is the original Qwen model. there is clearly a mesh-like structure. Stripes turned around and said, oh, it became very real all of a sudden. Look at the lines and veins on the fingers. The last one is by the seaside, where the wind blows. This feeling. The first transfer was actually quite good already, but if we look closely, there is still a sense of, especially on the edges, these details, skin with this texture, it will have a slight sense of unreality. We are using the image Redraws again. You see the texture of the skin. The quality of the fabric suddenly improved, especially this hair part. There is also light and shadow, facial expression. I did this workflow. It was because I was doing something else initially. Those workflowed when reaching the final character of this person, his expression, his appearance, it no longer has the spirit of the original comic, and the expressions don't match up. Then I will go through this workflow, forcing control through prompts, make this character closer to the original design. This workflow, I have deployed this on Running Hub already. Everyone can go online to experience it first. This effect, if it is satisfactory now, re-download and run locally. Online registration earns you 1,000 points. Log in daily and get 100 points. Run this stream. A single image is 60 points. You have felt the effect from enough experiments. For this local area, I actually did some optimization, added many of this memory cleanup for this node. Because this workflow, some different models will be used, like this QW model and Z-image model. It still consumes more GPU and RAM memory. However, it is still fast every time after cleaning. Like my 5060 Ti with 16GB of GPU memory, running once would take approximately 360 seconds. If everyone's hardware pressure is still quite high, that can make this picture smaller. One is scaling this block in front. Resize this image to make the longest side a little smaller. Or reduce this number as well. It is a fixed number. You can just make it a bit smaller. At the same time, I actually did it for these. We have some special needs. Also prepared other models. Like here, I prepared this ALU type. This model for AL23 version. Then open it directly. Connect directly here. That is it. Ignore these last two. Similarly, in this other Z-image model, I recommend everyone is using this model. I won't bother with the name either. This model is specifically designed for that aspect. This is the homepage of this model. I didn't open the picture either. All crosses. Here, I actually used this model of the Black Beast as well, but actually the results weren't good. Errors will occur. Another one is regarding the counter-prompt queues. Actually, Gemini or Gork are still the best ones to use. Of course, Gork is not type-specific. You can start by reversing the prompt from the outside in. Use this prompt to reverse engineer the image. Then manually enter here. Connect this here. Good. Let's talk about the cloud storage stuff now. Open my cloud disk. I basically have this handled. This has already been placed in the third episode. I have already built most of these models this time. Let them all go. These main ones, for example, this transcends reality, and this one. There is also a model like Qwen+Zimage. They have already been put in here. Everyone will download it themselves, then just put it directly past. Okay, if you think this workflow is pretty good, please like and follow. Your like is my greatest encouragement. I am Deep White. See you in the next episode.